Maybe this is a bit of a hot take, but I feel like experience is the only teacher. You could learn something from a book, you could learn something from someone else, but at the end of the day, until you experience it yourself, you'll never fully know how it is. Becoming less flimsy, really just making it that you're not even entering my inner matrix. You're not even a problem in my life. You wash off me like water off a duck's back. You don't have to get it right at all, except for one time. You can get it wrong 99 times and get it right the one time, and then you're good.
What does that mean, having an opportunity to fail? What does that mean?
Man, that's such a great question, bro. So for me, like, when it comes to taking opportunities, right, and we talk about this all the time, like when it comes to taking certain opportunities, you don't have to get it right at all, except for one time. You can get it wrong 99 times and get it right the one time, and then you're good. People have this fear of failure that keeps them from improving and evolving, and you cannot under any circumstances be afraid to fail, because that is how you grow and improve. Obviously, that's a theme that repeats itself time and time again in my music and my poetry, in terms of not ever giving up and not ever taking no for an answer and taking a fall down without, doing a get up. You got to do the get up part. So for me, that's always been super important. I really am thankful for the moments and the times in my life where I had the opportunity and the safe space to kind of make a mistake here or there, to improve, to get better, to be able to be to a point now where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm master of the ship now. I can teach others how to do those things that I was learning.
Because you've been sailing for.
Right.
Could you explain how important experience is? Because I'm going again off of what you said earlier about island expressions.
Yeah.
You talk about the opportunity and seizing the opportunity.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about how experience, just in a general sense, regardless of if it's island expressions or things that you did overseas, how important is experience?
Maybe this is a bit of a hot take, but I feel like experience is the only teacher. like you could learn something from a book.
Yeah.
You could learn something from someone else, but at the end of the day, until you experience it yourself, you'll never fully know how it is. You know what I'm saying? And that for me is one of the quintessential elements of the human experience. It is unique. Well, not unique, actually. You could say it's across species, where like even other animals, dogs, cats, whatever, when they see something, they don't know to be afraid of it the first time, but then when it hits you, they run away, and now they learn to be afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? You could tell them don't go there, but they can still go. Like, it's like a baby even, or a toddler. Tell a toddler, yo, don't touch that. Do not touch that under any circumstances. Yeah. And then
they understand.
Then they understand. And where's a common saying is proverb: who can't hear must feel. Right? So and humans can't hear. Like, we, for the most part, we can't hear. We got to feel something ourselves, and then they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I understand now. So I actually had to experience all those things firsthand, and I think we all do. We all have to, because you could talk a big game, but until you're out there, like in the league,
trenches,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't really know what that is, and that's why I think experience is so important.
Valid. You speak a lot about gratitude, right?
Yes.
Could you explain to the people why gratitude is important?
Gratitude is important because if you don't take a second to understand what you have, you will start to lose those things because you're not valuing them and you're not cherishing them. Now, when I say like give thanks or be thankful, I'm not saying like to any specific higher power or anything. Like, we all have our own belief system or non-belief system, and that's cool. I'm not even touching on that. My idea of gratitude is just like, yo, I am immensely grateful for being alive right now, and that's number one. Number two, I got family, I got friends, I got life. Number three, I got money, I got this, I got that, whatever the case may be. And you do your own value system for what is important to you in life, right? But after a while, people be like, oh, I can't find nothing else to be thankful for. What does that even mean? You're doing something wrong then. You should be doing better, trying to find more things to be thankful for. And if you don't have more things to be thankful for, that is a sign that you need to be doing more things. That is a sign. That's actually another tool that you could use for your own improvement. How many things do I have to be thankful for? And if it's not more things today than it was yesterday, maybe you should get to work.
On the same theme of experience, right? Could you talk about your university experience?
Yeah. So I went to York University in Toronto for psychology. I graduated in 2015. It was a 4-year program, but I did summer school twice. So I did it in 3 because I really wasn't having a good time. I was over it. So I was like, yo, I'm going to do these double summer courses and we're going to just be up out of here.
Yeah.
And we're going to be good. So I ended up actually graduating in the fall of 2015. And by then I had already like had a really strong idea of like who I wanted to become as a person. And I was realizing that I could become a full-time artist and do arts education and that kind of stuff. So I was like, yo, let me just like throw myself completely into this situation and try and set up some stuff for myself. The first year or two was very difficult coming out of university with a degree, but not pursuing any more like education. Like normally people who do a degree in psychology end up doing like a PhD in psychology.
Yeah,
so they could lecture or teach or whatever.
Yeah.
I do not have a PhD in psychology. I just have a degree in I'm not getting that shit. I'm not getting that shit. That shit's mad long. You got to do mad shit. Right. But shout out to everybody who does. And that's your calling. But at the same time, I realized for me, by the time I was finishing up my first year, I was like, nah, I'm good. And I have other passions and other interests.
So yeah, just trending off of that same point, right? I feel like mental fortitude is very important and it's not something that's really talked about. Could you, using that framework, share a little bit of how you demonstrated mental fortitude during your time in university?
Like I was saying, I think that one of the key aspects of living in North America, especially being someone from the Caribbean, is like you have to be able to build up that mental fortitude and that like ability to withstand the inconveniences, microaggressions, people not understanding you, different way of living, speaking the same language but saying it differently, all that stuff. My whole ability and process to withstand that is much more robust now than when it was when I was first moving to Toronto in 2012. So I've done a lot of growth and I've done a lot of development as a person. Going back to that idea of moving the whole product forward is like part of that product is also like becoming less flimsy. You know what I'm saying? Less flimsy, just like really just making it that you're not even entering my inner matrix. You're not even a problem in my life. You wash off me like water off a duck's back. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. Whereas things used to really like weigh me down at certain points and I'm feeling overwhelmed and like, you know, thoughts of anxiety and depression and loneliness, missing home, all kind of things. But at the end of the day, through repetition, as you were speaking about earlier, I've been able to really develop that sense of self and sense of identity. Being in Toronto has made me fall in love with St. Kitts even more than I did already when I was living here.
Absence make the heart go.
That's what they say, right? That's what they do indeed say.
Most definitely, man. And I feel like I just always refer to St. Kitts as ghoul.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
facts.
It's like,
facts.
You know,
we safe.
Yeah, basically untouchable.
Can't tag me.
You mentioned quite a few things, and like I said earlier, you're very multifaceted. I think you spoke briefly about arts education. So could you give some more context of what is arts education and how did you get involved in arts education? Yeah,
100%. So when I moved to Toronto 2012, I went to university, and then leaving university, the year before I left university, so this is 2014 now, because I left university in 2015. So 2014, I participated or represented Toronto at the Canadian Festival of Spoken Word in Victoria, BC, which is in Canada, in like Vancouver area. And we placed second in the country. And I was like, oh, okay, we got some talent here. We got some potential here. This was when I had started to really like think about arts like as a career more, right? But as I mentioned to you, like I also had bills I had to pay. I had money that I had to make, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't just live off the meager livings that I was dealing with at the time. And so I basically was looking for a way to do art while also making it more of a full-time profession, and not just doing shows and because that could be like inconsistent depending on the time of year, depending on what's the vibe or who's booking what or whatever gigs are available or whatever the case may be. So arts education was a vehicle for me to practice art on a full-time basis and actually like make a living and establish a career within the art field without having to do something that was like completely like one of the odd jobs that I used to have as a bartender, as a salesperson in Zara. You know what I'm saying? In the Eaton Center. Shout out the Eaton Center. And at the time, so going back to 2014-15, leaving university, I got into poetry and slam, but also just like doing open mics and doing shows. And And shout out to Dwayne Morgan, who is a huge positive influence in my life in Toronto. He is actually a trailblazer in the poetry space and poetry community, and he was doing a lot of arts education. He was doing a lot of like workshops, speaking engagements, young people, old people, everybody just like really doing work out there and getting into his communities and, you know, speaking to people in a way that really mattered and uplifting them and giving them tools to further express themselves through poetry and through art. So I was like, yo, that's so cool. And then my friend Patrick de Belen was getting more into it, doing workshops and stuff like that. So my friend Josh and I, we just did a bunch of like pro bono stuff, just like working, just like wherever we could to hone our skills and build up our CVs and just grind out workshops and speak with people, go into communities. That was kind of how I got started as an arts educator. And eventually I started working with the Toronto Public Library, and I started getting grants and doing like programming for myself, working with so many, Cultural Hotspot, North York Arts, Arts Reach, everybody. That was kind of how I got my career started as an arts educator.
Millionaires, huge estates, tax-free savings, IRAs. On paper, a simple wage, but they got business and business pays. And global wage sits at $1. You avoid jail if the crime is white collar. You avoid jail if the crime is white collar. Pity that I can't